So if you can recall, several months ago, the Biden administration kept saying this line about, we cut child poverty in half. We did it. And it was incredibly striking because they basically admitted that they have this dial that they could just turn and essentially eradicate child poverty. But that's an entirely different conversation for a different video. But now they're kind of going back on it a bit because there's new evidence and they're seeing new statistics, and there's been a more of a divulging into the studies and what have you. And some people are still saying they could cut it in half with these new child tax credits that just recently went out as of Wednesday and Thursday, I believe. And some are saying, well, it's going to be a radical decline in child poverty. It's a lot of different rhetoric that's going around. But the fact of the matter is that these payments are hitting people's bank accounts. And for some, it doesn't seem to help very much. But for others, it seems to be something that's really magical. And that's the part that I want to focus on in this video. So, Alex Figueroa, I know I didn't say that right, but she's a 36-year-old woman in Philadelphia. She said she received the benefit on Wednesday, a day earlier than expected, after a local community tax support group helped her fill out her application. She is a single mother with no income support aside from the occasional help of her children's father after she was cut off from Social Security and disability payments. She is planning to use the money to take her two children to the zoo. One of them, age 1, loves polar bears. The other, age 3, is particularly excited about seeing a tiger. It will be one of the few activities the family has been able to afford since the beginning of the pandemic. Emotionally, it was a relief, she said, about receiving the money. It would be nice to take them to see the animals. And I have news for you. Somebody did, I saw this on Twitter, somebody actually funded their zoo trip. So this family will, I believe, be going to the zoo. I'm incredibly happy for her and her children. But this just shows you what government can do for you. And it just shows you what the government needs to do for its population. Because as I stated before, there's also a woman who this little $300, because I believe it's $300 for children that are 6 and under. And she has a child that's under the age of 6, and she only makes around $55,000 a year. And daycare alone is half of what she makes every month. And so she had to move back into her parents' house. I just read this story in the Washington Post article. You can check it out if you want. I'll try to link it down below. But she's not doing very well as this woman. However, that speaks to the problem that we have. You're going to keep running into problems like these where you're constantly putting Band-Aids on things when you should really, do a surgical procedure to fix the entire wound. Because you can't put a Band-Aid on a gaping gash, with blood squirting out. There's no way you can fix that. And that's essentially what, neoliberal politics boil down to. But I love this particular story about the woman with the kids that wanted to go to the zoo because, look, this just increases people's happiness. This gets rid of ailments such as depression and anxiety. Financial instability is something that can contribute to a load of emotions and feelings that are extremely negative, and it can make people do some really, really bad things to themselves and to others. And so when you improve people's lives like this, not only does it help them in that way, but this drives people to the polls to fucking vote for you. Something that the Democrats don't seem to yet quite understand. When you materially improve people's lives, people remember that and they go, oh, hey, that's the guy that gave me that check that one time. So next time, when the next election rolls around, they'll flock right to the polls and vote for you in hopes of, I don't know, maybe receiving another one. What doesn't drive people to the polls is lying to them about a $15 minimum wage that you pledged to fight for that you did not, about a public option that you didn't implement, about legalizing marijuana, among other things, although Joe Biden never said that he would do so, but he should. These are things that the Democrats have reneged on or lied about or haven't, gotten around to yet, which is extremely depressing and disheartening. With all that being said, I'm extremely happy about the people that are, benefiting from these child tax credits. And I could only hope that in the future, we see much more dramatic progressive policy than what we're getting now.